Okay, welcome to part one in a potentially 5-part series where I talk about some of the things I did in each year that were both good and a learning curve that I had to face that you, after watching this video, will potentially not have to face, which is quite nice. So today we are going to be talking about year one of my university career and some of the challenges and some of the wins, in my opinion, that I had. Hopefully this will help you in your university career. To reintroduce myself, my name is Isabella. I am a graduate from this year. I am a Telfer graduate. First win. Immediately when I got to university, I introduced myself to everyone in what I thought was a fun way, which, please don't do this, but I introduced myself as the future Prime Minister. I said, "Hello, nice to meet you, I'm Isabella Quinn, I'm the future Prime Minister of Canada." It was good that I introduced myself, and it was good that I made it interesting. I wish I hadn't have said that, though, because it became an ongoing joke. The whole university, everyone I knew, they'd be like, "Future Prime Minister?" And I'd be like, "No." And they'd be like, "Do you even speak French?" And I'd be like, a little bit. So that was a win, because I made friends quickly. Like, people thought that I'd like to think that some people thought I was cool. At least cool enough that I had some friends, which was good to have throughout the university career. Definitely got me through year one. Better than what would have been if I hadn't had any of the friends I had. I also met a lot of upper years, because they were like, "Are you the Prime Minister girl?" And I'm like, the first loss, and I say this as a loss, but really it's just a learning curve, is that I think I went into university a little bit narrow-minded / closed-minded to my own faults. So I went into university being like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to grow. I don't need to, I need to learn, obviously, but I don't need to, grow as a person, which was wrong. Don't worry, I know now that I need to grow, that you're continuously growing and, maturing. But basically, I was pretty stubborn. I didn't really handle criticism that well, and not in the sense of, I would be rude, but, if someone was like, "You're doing this and it's wrong," I'd be like, "Nope, it's not wrong. We just have different perspectives." But it's it potentially could be wrong, though. And I just didn't acknowledge that, and that stubbornness kind of led to, I had a roommate, and we didn't really get along, and I was like, this isn't my fault, but, looking back, it was partially my fault. I am partially to blame, as well. Part of this kind of, I would say it's a little bit of closed-mindedness, is that, or really, also just being unaware, is interview prepping. I went to a lot of interviews for clubs. I didn't get any of them, which is fine. But, in my brain, I was still thinking, I'm in a small town. I don't need to prep because they already know who I am. I've already made this rapport. Which is not how it works. You have to prep for an interview, and you have to make a better impression. Even if you're a good candidate, doesn't mean you're the best candidate. And because in my brain, I was thinking, there's only a small pool of applicants, which is a lie, first of all. The schools are filled with, thousands of kids. It's not 20 people. They're thousands. I was like, oh, my chances are pretty high already. No. Wrong. I didn't get any of the things I applied for. However, I know this now, that you have to prepare for interviews, which is nice. So that was the second, or the first loss, but the second thing that you need to know. Academic probation, I never went on to it. However, I got an email first semester basically saying that, I was close, because there was this one class, and I was not good at it. It was Math 1. I thought I was smart at math, and I was like, okay, I'll be fine. I got 80s in math in high school. Wrong. I think I got a 51 in that class. terrifying. You don't, like, try your hardest not to get on academic probation, but if you do get on it, I think you have a year before they kick you out. Yeah, so academic probation is pretty serious. Don't get on it. But one thing that can help to not get on it is to kind of realize that, like, your high school grades are not going to transfer to your university grades unless you make them transfer. My assumption was that if I was smart in high school, I would do smart in university. No, that's not how it works. Mostly because there's, like, it's not a linear progression, it's a exponential progression. So, like, you're not going, like, so in high school it's like 1, 2, 3. University is like, whoa. It's a big learning curve. So that was another thing that I potentially did wrong. However, I never got on academic probation and in my university career. So that I consider a win. But please do keep that in mind. Another thing, I put down COVID learning in my notes. Definitely pay attention. Here's the thing. I was doing really well in this one accounting class in second semester because I would, like, show up, participate, all that jazz. And then when we went on COVID, my grade went from, like, an 80 to, like, a 60 because I don't think I paid enough attention, which I should have. So if you're going to do, like, online learning, definitely take it as seriously as you would in-person learning. Another thing I wrote down was clubs and being involved. I didn't get into any of the clubs, but in my other years, which we'll talk about later on, I did, and it would have been super awesome to be in a club in first year, but I was not. However, I did go to all of their events, and I do mean all of them. Those poor guys were probably sick of seeing my face. Like, I went to everything, which was personally, I think, good, because in first year, I started out as an accounting student, and then I think third year, I was like, no, I hate this. HR it is. So having gone to all of those events would have helped solidify where I was in my career journey. Do I want to stick to accounting? Like, going to those events, I thought all of them were really informative of what I like and what I don't like. It's also good to just network, because I was in a business school, so you network with everyone. It's always good. It's never bad to network. Okay, one thing that I wanted to share was, it says, to become better, you have to admit your ignorance, at least to yourself, by William A. Passmore. And I think that is such a good quote that represented my first year. There was so much exponential growth, in my opinion, not that I'm, like, holier than thou or anything, just because I was like, oh my god, I'm not perfect. Not that I ever thought that I was, but I thought I was decent enough that I wouldn't have to grow more, which is not how the world works. I kind of love that, though, like little Isabella, just 18 years old, she's like, you know what, I think I'm good, I think I'm set. You don't get to decide that. And then when I was, like, maturing at the end of my first year, it was so interesting to realize, A, how much I'd changed, and B, how, like, I guess you could say immature I was, which I was. And I think it's okay to admit that. It's okay to admit that, like, sometimes you're wrong, and sometimes you're stubborn. Like, I was pretty stubborn first year, and now I'm not as stubborn. Like, if someone's like, you did this wrong, I'd be like, okay, how can I do better, But first year, I was like, I'm not wrong. It's just so funny to think about. You're wrong. No, I'm not. I'm just not. Anyways, if you're going into first year, good luck, and also congratulations, because it is a very big milestone to go into university, and you should be very proud of yourself. You don't have to change yourself to go into university. You just have to keep an open mind. I didn't change anything about my personality. I don't think, at least. but throughout my university years, I did change how I thought of things. For example, I just kept an open mind throughout, year 2, year 3, year 4. Year 1 did not have an open mind fully, and that was to my own detriment. So don't do that. Go into university with an open mind, or 4. I hope you enjoyed this. If you didn't, tell me why, or don't. Do whatever you want. Hello, this is post-production Isabella. I tried my hand at jump cuts and actually editing the video instead of just uploading it, like the full thing unedited. So I hope you enjoy it. If you don't, I apologize. And also, if the editing is really bad, it's my first time doing it, so I'm sorry. But again, hope you enjoyed.